One Saturday afternoon in Newton, Miss Paulina Woods, a 76-year-old African-American woman with gray hair and a frail frame, was on her way to the Star Market grocery store, located at 2040 Commonwealth Avenue. Paulina had lived in Newton all her life, and she loved the town and its people, even if some weren't always kind. Her only son, Trevor, worked in law enforcement as the head of internal affairs for the Newton Police Department. Though Paulina rarely spoke of her son's position, she was proud of the way he served the community. As Paulina was heading into the store, she accidentally bumped into Officer James Harding, a burly white cop with a scowl etched permanently on his face. James was known around town for his sharp temper and tendency to bully those he deemed weaker than him. That particular day was no exception. He turned on Paulina, towering over her with a glare. "Watch where you're going, old lady," James snapped, his voice loud and harsh, causing a few passers-by to stop and stare. Paulina, taken aback, mumbled a quiet apology, her hands trembling as she clutched her shopping bag. James wasn't satisfied with an apology. He grabbed her arm roughly, pulling her closer as he continued to berate her in front of the growing crowd. Paulina tried to pull away, but James's grip only tightened. And then, as if to punctuate his anger, he raised his hand and slapped her. The crowd gasped in horror, some reaching for their phones to record the shocking scene. A young woman named Amy, who was standing nearby, couldn't believe what she was seeing. She quickly stepped forward, her voice filled with urgency. "Officer, that's no way to treat anyone, especially an elderly woman," she said. But James just shot her a look of contempt, dismissing her as he continued to hold onto Paulina's arm. In that moment, Paulina's eyes were filled with tears, but she managed to reach into her pocket and pull out her cell phone. She dialed a number, and when the voice on the other end answered, she whispered, "Trevor, please come quickly. I'm outside the Star Market grocery store, located at 2040 Commonwealth Avenue, and there's trouble." Not far away, Trevor Woods was shopping at a nearby mall, completely unaware of what was happening to his mother. He was picking out some fruits when he received the call. The minute he heard his mother's shaky voice, a sense of dread settled over him. He didn't need to ask questions. He knew she wouldn't call him like this unless it was serious. Trevor dropped his basket and sprinted out of the mall, his mind fixed on reaching his mother as quickly as possible. Within minutes, he pulled up to the grocery store and saw a small crowd gathered outside. At the center of it all was Officer James, gripping his mother's arm with an angry expression, while Paulina looked shaken and frail. Trevor's face hardened as he approached, his usually calm demeanor replaced by an intense anger. He pushed through the crowd, his gaze fixed on James. "Let go of my mother," Trevor commanded, his voice low and firm. His appearance took James by surprise, and for a moment, the officer faltered. But James quickly regained his composure, his face twisting with arrogance. "Oh, so you're the son?" James sneered. "Maybe teach her some manners then." Trevor's jaw clenched. "I said, let go of her," he repeated, his tone brooking no argument. James, unaware of who he was dealing with, smirked defiantly. But before he could utter another word, Trevor pulled out his badge, flashing it in front of James's face. "Trevor Woods, head of internal affairs," he announced. "I'd suggest you let go and think carefully about what you just did." The smirk disappeared from James's face, replaced by a look of shock. He instantly released Paulina, stepping back with his hands raised as though he'd suddenly realized the weight of his actions. With his mother safe beside him, Trevor's focus shifted entirely to Officer James. The crowd watched in silence, sensing that something big was about to unfold. "James Harding," Trevor began, his voice carrying authority, "you just assaulted an elderly woman in front of witnesses. And that woman happens to be my mother." He paused, letting his words sink in. "You're a disgrace to this badge and this department." James, realizing the gravity of his situation, began stammering, "Look, I didn't know she was your mother. I was just trying to maintain order." Trevor held up a hand to silence him. "This has nothing to do with my mother being related to me. This is about you abusing your power. You think you can treat people like this and get away with it? Not anymore." Trevor took out his phone and made a quick call to the station. Within moments, another police car arrived, and 2 officers stepped out. "Officer Harding, you're under arrest," one of them said, pulling out a pair of handcuffs. James's face went pale as the cuffs were placed on his wrists, his arrogance now replaced by fear. As James was led away, Trevor turned to his mother, wrapping his arm around her gently. "Are you all right, Mom?" he asked, his voice softening. Paulina nodded, a small smile appearing on her face. "I'm all right, son. Thank you." The crowd cheered as James was taken to the police car, murmuring amongst themselves about how justice had been served. Trevor knew this incident would send a message to everyone in the department. No one was above the law, especially not those meant to uphold it. As they walked back to his car, Trevor looked at his mother, feeling grateful she was safe. Paulina patted his arm. "You've made me proud, son," she said quietly. And as they drove away, Trevor felt a sense of satisfaction, knowing he'd done the right thing, not just for his mother, but for every person who deserved respect and fair treatment. This brings us to the end of the story. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends too. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Have a nice day.